A historic heatwave is bearing down on Australia. Temperatures approaching 50 degrees Celsius. Catastrophic fire danger. This is one of the most serious weather events we've seen in years. I've been examining the latest data from the Bureau of Meteorology, cross-referencing the Access model with both the GFS and European models, and what we're looking at is genuinely concerning. Not media hype, not clickbait. This is the real deal. Let's get straight into what is happening, where it's happening, and what you need to do about it. Right now across the country, conditions couldn't be more varied, and that contrast is actually part of what is driving this extreme heat event. Brisbane is already copping it. 38 degrees expected today, the 25th of January. That's the hottest day of the year so far, smashing the previous record of 33.4 degrees set just over a week ago on the 17th. Humidity is sitting at 75 to 80%. That makes it feel even worse. You're not imagining it. It's genuinely oppressive. Adelaide hit 36 to 37 degrees today. That's just the beginning. Tomorrow, Saturday the 26th, over 40 degrees. Monday the 27th, 42 to 43 degrees. This isn't a one-day event. This is a prolonged heatwave building over multiple days. Canberra saw 36 degrees today. Cool morning at 13 to 15, then a rapid climb. The diurnal range is massive, over 20 degrees. Worth noting, today S36 will actually be the coolest day of the week ahead. Tuesday and Wednesday, 42 degrees or higher. Melbourne started relatively pleasant. 14 to 16 degrees this morning, 25 to 26 for the top. Don't be fooled by today's mild conditions. From tomorrow, temperatures climb sharply. Some inland Victorian areas could hit 47 degrees. Compare that to Perth. Due to an unseasonable cold front, Perth is only reaching 25 degrees today. On par with Hobart, actually cooler than Sydney. That's unusual for midsummer. Some light showers lingering. But that cool change won't last. Hobart has escaped the worst of it for now. Top of 25, mornings 9 to 12 degrees, dry conditions, perfect for outdoor activities. However, Tuesday the 27th shows temps possibly hitting 32. That be the hottest day of summer so far for Tasmania. Darwin typical for the wet season, 32 degrees, high humidity over 80%. Chance of storms this arvo and evening, nothing unusual there. Sydney is pleasant today, 24 to 27 degrees, clear skies, light northeasterly winds 15 to 25 kilometres per hour. UV extreme at 11, so sun protection is essential. The coastal waters might be more powerful than they appear, so be careful with rock fishing and swimming. Now here is what is driving this pattern. And this is where the meteorology gets interesting. We've got a massive high-pressure system sitting over the Tasman Sea, strong and persistent. That high is blocking cooler air from moving up from the Southern Ocean. Meanwhile, a heat trough is deepening across inland Australia, drawing extremely hot air down from central and northern regions. The combination is deadly. Hot continental air with nowhere to go, no relief from southerly changes, no cool fronts breaking through. I've been comparing the Access model, the GFS, and the European model. All three are in agreement. That doesn't happen often with extreme events, but when it does, you pay attention. The models show this pattern persisting through at least the middle of next week. Temperature forecasts are extraordinary. South Australia and Western New South Wales could reach 48 degrees Celsius. Victoria and southern Queensland could reach 47 degrees. Some model runs even suggest temperatures could approach 50 degrees in parts of inland South Australia, Western New South Wales or southern Queensland during the coming week. Let me put that in perspective. 50 degrees Celsius. That is not just hot, that is approaching the limits of what humans can survive outdoors, even with shade and water. The Australian record is 50.7 degrees at Oodnadatta in South Australia back in 1960. We could be challenging that record. Many of you remember the 2009 heatwave. Black Saturday conditions, February 7th, 2009. Melbourne hit 46.4 degrees. Country Victoria was even hotter. Kinglake reached 48 degrees. Those conditions contributed to fires that killed 173 people. This heat wave has the potential to match or exceed those conditions. The difference is we have better warning systems now, better coordination between emergency services and better public awareness. But that only helps if people actually prepare and act. The fire danger is what keeps me up at night with this pattern. It's not just the heat. It's the combination of extreme temperatures, low humidity and strong winds. Tomorrow, Saturday the 26th of January, extreme fire danger is forecast widespread across South Australia and Western Victoria. But here's the critical part, catastrophic fire danger on the Yorke Peninsula in South Australia. Catastrophic is the highest fire danger rating we have. It means if a fire starts, it will be uncontrollable. Spot fires will start ahead of the main fire front. Embers will travel for kilometres. Fire breaks one to stop it. Water bombing will have limited effect. The heat will be so intense that radiant heat alone can ignite new fires. If you on the Yorke Peninsula or in other areas that reach catastrophic fire danger during this event, the message is simple: do not stay and defend. Leaving early is the only safe option. Have that conversation with your family today, not tomorrow. Today, the wind pattern makes this worse. Strong northwesterly winds across South Australia tomorrow, shifting to westerlies later. Wind speeds 25 to 40 kilometres per hour, gusts up to 60 or 70 kilometres per hour in exposed areas. That is enough to rapidly spread any fire that starts. For context, the Ash Wednesday fires in 1983 killed 75 people across South Australia and Victoria. February 16th, 1983, extreme heat, low humidity, strong winds, catastrophic fire conditions. Many people thought they could defend their properties. They were wrong. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to get you to take this seriously. You've got experience. You have lived through harsh summers. But this one is different. The duration, the intensity, the widespread nature of it all point to a genuinely dangerous situation. Let's break down the regional impacts more specifically, because if you're in an affected area, you need to know exactly what to expect and when. South Australia, you in the firing line first. Today, S36 to 37 degrees is manageable if you are sensible about it. Tomorrow, Saturday, over 40 degrees widespread. Adelaide will hit 40 to 42. Inland areas, the mid-north, the Riverland, Yorke Peninsula, Eyre Peninsula, all tracking towards 43 to 46 degrees. Monday the 27th, it gets worse. Adelaide 42 to 43 degrees. Inland areas could reach 46 to 48 degrees. Some locations might challenge 50 degrees. That S, not exaggeration, that S, what the models are showing, the heat will be relentless. Overnight minimums won't drop much. Adelaide S overnight minimum Monday into Tuesday might only drop to 28 to 30 degrees. You want to get relief at night. That S, when heat stress really starts affecting people, when your body doesn't get a chance to recover. Victoria, your pattern is similar but shifted slightly later in timing. Today, Sunday, reasonably pleasant across most of Melbourne and coastal areas, 25 to 26 degrees. Tomorrow, Monday, temperatures start climbing. Tuesday and Wednesday, that S when it peaks. Melbourne could hit 40 to 42 degrees. Inland areas, Western Victoria, the Wimmera, the Mallee, all tracking towards 45 to 47 degrees. The Grampians, normally a few degrees cooler due to elevation, will still see 40 to 43 degrees. Gippsland might escape the worst of it due to southeasterly influences, but even there you are looking at mid to high 30s. Fire danger in Victoria escalates Monday and Tuesday. Extreme to catastrophic fire danger possible across the Wimmera, Mallee and parts of central Victoria. If you are in rural Victoria, particularly in timber country or grasslands, prepare now. New South Wales, the heat builds progressively from west to east. Western New South Wales is already hot and will get hotter. Broken Hill, Bourke, Cobar, all tracking towards 46 to 48 degrees by midweek. Some locations in the far west could approach or exceed 50 degrees. Sydney stays relatively protected by the coastal influence and that Tasman high. Uri looking at low to mid-30s through the week. Hot, but not extreme. However, Western Sydney, the Blue Mountains foothills, areas like Penrith and Richmond, you'll be several degrees hotter. Mid to high 30s, possibly touching 40 midweek. The concern for New South Wales is fire danger. The combination of extreme heat in western and central areas, low fuel moisture from a dry let-up, and any wind change could create catastrophic conditions. The Rural Fire Service will be on high alert. Queensland, you are dealing with a different pattern, but still serious heat. Southeast Queensland, Brisbane hit 38 today. Tomorrow, Monday, similar temperatures. The heat is coming with high humidity, which makes it feel worse and increases heat stress risk. Inland Queensland, the Darling Downs, Western Queensland, you are looking at 43 to 46 degrees through Tuesday and Wednesday. Cattle country will be suffering. Stock will need access to water and shade. The far north, Cairns and the top end, you are in your wet season pattern. Still hot and humid, but not part of this extreme heatwave event. Western Australia, you got a brief reprieve with that cool change, bringing Perth down to 25 degrees today, that 1T last. By midweek, Perth climbs back to mid to high 30s. Inland WA, the Goldfields, the Wheat Belt, URE looking at low to mid 40s through the middle of the week. Tasmania, URE the lucky state for now. Today, S25 degrees is pleasant. Even Tuesday, S forecast 32. While warm for Hobart is manageable, the Southern Ocean influence is keeping you cooler. However, Don T, be complacent. That 32 could still stress people who aren't acclimatised to heat. Northern Territory, Darwin S in typical wet season mode. Hot, humid afternoon storms. Nothing unusual for this time of year. Alice Springs in Central Australia, you are part of the heat event, 40 plus degrees through the middle of the week. Now let's talk about what you actually need to do, because understanding the forecast is pointless if you don't act on it. For your health, this is critical. Heat kills more Australians than any other natural disaster. More than bushfires, more than floods, more than cyclones. It just doesn't make headlines the same way. Drink water constantly, even when you're really not thirsty. By the time you feel thirsty, you are already becoming dehydrated. 2 to 3 litres per day minimum. More if you're reworking outdoors or doing any physical activity. Avoid strenuous outdoor activity during the heat of the day. If you've got jobs that need doing outside, do them early morning or late evening. Mid-morning through mid-afternoon, stay indoors if possible. Seek air-conditioned spaces. If you don't have air conditioning at home, head to shopping centres, libraries, community centres. Most councils open cooling centres during extreme heat events. Don't be too proud to use them. Never leave children or pets in cars, not even for a minute. A car in 40-degree heat can reach 60 to 70 degrees inside within minutes. That S, lethal. Check regularly on elderly people, children, and those with medical conditions. Heat stress affects the very young and very old most severely. Check on your neighbours, check on your mates, especially those living alone. Wear light, loose-fitting, light-coloured clothing. Natural fibres like cotton breathe better than synthetics. Wide-brimmed hat if you are outside. Sunscreen, SPF 50+, even if you are only outside briefly. Watch for signs of heat stress, headache, dizziness, nausea, rapid pulse, confusion. If someone shows these signs, get them to a cool place immediately, give them water, apply wet cloths. If symptoms are severe, call 000. For bushfire risk, preparation starts now, not tomorrow when the fire danger is catastrophic, now. Update your Family S bushfire survival plan today. If you don't have one, create one. It is simple. What will you do if there's a fire? Leave early or stay and defend? If you're relieving, when and where to? If you're staying, how will you defend? What equipment do you have? For most people in high-risk areas, leaving early is the safest option, particularly on days of catastrophic fire danger. You can defend against catastrophic fires. The radiant heat alone is too intense. Clean up around your property. Clear dry leaves, branches, flammable rubbish from around buildings. Clean out your gutters. Move firewood away from the house. Cut long grass. These are all ignition points. Prepare an emergency evacuation kit. Important documents in a waterproof bag. Medications, change of clothes. Water, at least 2 litres per person. Torch, battery-powered radio, phone charger, cash. Keep it somewhere you can grab it quickly. Know at least 2 escape routes from your area. If one road's blocked by fire, you need an alternative. Drive those routes so you know them. Monitor warnings from the Bureau of Meteorology and your state fire service. Download your State S Emergency Warning app if you haven't already. Emergency Plus for location information, your State SES app. Rural Fire Service app if you are in New South Wales, CFA in Victoria. These apps give real-time warnings. Do not use lawnmowers, welding equipment, grinders, anything that creates sparks on high fire danger days. One spark in these conditions can start a fire that destroys homes and kills people. If you are in a high-risk area and the forecast is catastrophic fire danger, seriously consider evacuating early. Wait until you see smoke. By then it might be too late. Roads get blocked. Visibility drops to 0. The fire moves faster than you can drive. Have the conversation with your family now. What's the trigger point for leaving? What are the signs that say we need to go now? Leave it to split-second decisions when you are panicking. For those with livestock, you need a plan too. If you are evacuating, can you move stock to safer paddocks? Do they have access to water and shade? Can you open gates so they can move if fire approaches? These decisions need to be made now, not when you can see flames. Let's talk about the broader pattern and when this might break, because right now you're probably wondering how long this lasts. The blocking high over the Tasman Sea is strong and slow moving. That S keeping cool southerly changes from pushing through. The models show this pattern persisting through at least Thursday the 29th or Friday the 30th of January. There are some signs of a change developing late in the week, a cold front approaching from the west, potentially bringing a cooler change to South Australia and Victoria by Friday or Saturday. But the timing is uncertain and the change might be weaker than we like. Even when the change comes through, it won't be immediate relief everywhere. The frontal passage will be progressive. Western areas cool first, then central areas, then eastern areas, and the change brings its own risk. A wind change during active fires can be catastrophic. The real relief probably doesn't arrive until early February. That S, when the pattern looks like breaking down properly, with regular frontal systems and more typical summer conditions. So we're re-looking at about a week of extreme to severe heat across large parts of southern Australia. That is a long time. That is enough to stress infrastructure, stress the electricity grid, stress water supplies, and stress people. The electricity grid is a genuine concern. When everyone is running air conditioning at maximum on 45-degree days, demand spikes, there is potential for localised blackouts or brownouts. If the power goes out during extreme heat, that becomes a health emergency very quickly for vulnerable people. Charge your devices. Have backup plans. If you rely on medical equipment that needs power, talk to your electricity provider about priority supply or have a backup plan. Water supplies come under pressure too. People use more water. Evaporation increases. If you on tank water, monitor your levels, ration if necessary. For those in rural and remote areas, you more vulnerable. You might be an hour or more from medical help. You might be on dirt roads that become impassable if a fire starts. You might be responsible for large properties with stock. Your preparation needs to be more thorough. Make sure your vehicle S in good condition. Full tank of fuel. Check your tyres, coolant, oil. Carry extra water in the vehicle, not just for drinking, but for the radiator if you overheat. Carry a fire blanket and extinguisher if you are travelling during this heat wave, particularly in remote areas. Tell someone your route and expected arrival time. Carry a satellite phone or emergency beacon if you ever got one. The number of people who die in the Outback during extreme heat because their car breaks down and they try to walk for help is tragic and preventable. There is a particular concern for areas that normally experience extreme heat. Far north Queensland, you often see temperatures over 40 degrees. If this heat pushes that far north, people aren't acclimatised, houses aren't built for it, infrastructure isn't designed for it. If you're in an area that doesn't normally get extreme heat, take it more seriously, not less. You don't have the experience, you don't have the coping mechanisms. You are more vulnerable. I want to address the mental health aspect too, because extreme heat affects your mood, your decision-making, your patience. People get irritable. Domestic violence increases during heat waves. Family tensions rise. If you're feeling stressed, angry, overwhelmed, that's the heat affecting you. Recognize it. Take a break. Cool down, literally and figuratively. Check on your mates. Not just physically, but mentally. Isolation and heat are a dangerous combination. A phone call to someone living alone could make a huge difference. For businesses, particularly those with outdoor workers, you have duty of care responsibilities. Construction, agriculture, landscaping, anyone working outside. You need to provide shade, water, regular breaks. Reschedule work to cooler parts of the day where possible. Watch your workers for signs of heat stress.
This is also a reminder about climate patterns. We're currently in neutral ENSO conditions, transitioning towards a potential La Nina later in the year. The Indian Ocean dipole is negative, which typically brings more moisture to Australia. The southern annular mode has been variable, but the long-term trend is clear. Heat waves are becoming more frequent, more intense, and longer lasting. The science is unambiguous on this. That doesn't make each individual heat wave climate change, but climate change is loading the dice towards more extreme heat events. The practical reality is we need to adapt. Better building design, better urban planning, more green space in cities, better warning systems, better community support networks. This one to be the last extreme heat wave we see. Right, let's wrap this up with the key points you need to remember. 1. This is a historic heat wave, temperatures approaching 50 degrees in some areas, potentially one of the most severe heat events in Australian history. 2. It's prolonged. This isn't a one-day event, this is a week or more of extreme to severe heat. 3. Fire danger is catastrophic in some areas, extreme in many others. The combination of extreme heat, low humidity and strong winds creates the worst possible fire conditions. 4. Prepare now. Don't wait. Update your bushfire plan, clean up your property, prepare your evacuation kit, know your escape routes. 5. Look after yourself and others. Drink water, stay cool, check on vulnerable people, watch for signs of heat stress. 6. Monitor official warnings. Bureau of Meteorology, your state fire service, emergency services. These are your authoritative sources. 7. If the fire danger is catastrophic, consider evacuating early. Your life is worth more than any property. 8. This pattern persists through most of next week. Relief probably doesn't arrive until early February. I've covered a lot of information here and I know it is heavy, but it's important. This is serious, not media hype, not clickbait. This is a genuine, severe weather event that requires preparation and action. Keep monitoring the Bureau of Meteorology website and app for updates. Forecasts will be refined as we get closer to the peak heat days. Warning areas might expand or contract. Fire danger ratings will be updated daily. Share this information with your family and mates. Make sure everyone knows what S coming and what they need to do. Australia S weathered many harsh summers. We'll get through this one too. But it requires everyone taking responsibility for their own safety and looking out for each other. Stay safe, stay cool, and pay attention to the warnings. That's your detailed weather forecast and warning for the severe heatwave event affecting Australia from the 25th of January through early February.